Hello all, welcome back. Work continues on this Grunow Chassis 6C. In my last video I talked about the rust at the base of the power transformer. Just a couple close-up shots here of the power transformer. So let me spend some time, get this power transformer removed from the chassis. We'll take a closer look.
Okay, I now have the power transformer removed from the chassis. And again, you can see the little bit of rust that I was referring to. It's mainly on the left front side of the transformer. Here, if you take a look at the transformer, you'll see a lot of rust there again on the bracket or hardware that mounts to the case of the power transformer. And ditto for the area there where the fasteners itself hold the power transformer to the chassis. So these wires look, in okay shape. I'll do an inspection of them as well when I've got the power transformer out. Again, I've already checked the power transformer and it checked good, but I think I'm going to double check it while I've got it out of the circuit and just document the results as well.
Now with the power transformer removed from the chassis, it really affords me the opportunity to get in here and do some derusting on the power transformer housing. And here's just a couple different angles and look at the power transformer. As I'm doing the derusting itself, you'll see I still have some of the product that's still working on some of the rust spots there on the old power transformer housing. Again, once this dries, I'll apply some primer and paint as well and clean this thing up. So I tackled the tuning condenser next. Here's a couple still photos again of the tuning condenser, and you can see the amount of rust on the condenser itself and the associated hardware. So I actually let all the hardware and the tuning condenser set up in a bath of evapor-rust for about a week. Removed it, ran it through the ultrasonic cleaner using trisodium phosphate, which I've used with great success in the past. So again, what you're seeing here is just a couple photos again of that particular process. After removing the tuning condenser and associated hardware from the ultrasonic cleaner, letting it dry, here's a look. Don't be alarmed by the stiffness of the shaft and the rotation of the tuning condenser. Again, no lubricants have been applied at this time to the bearings. I will use more of a synthetic blend. A lot of folks use petroleum-based. The problem with that, they actually clog up down the road and just gum up. And just believe me, stick with some synthetic, blend like Labelle or others. Following the rust removal on the tuning condenser itself and associated hardware, I usually apply clear coat to the frame itself. In this case, I used a new product. It's actually a metal prep product, and it supposedly leaves an outer coating that protects that particular product from rust forming, for a period of years. So I'm going to actually give that a try, see what happens. If I'm producing videos a few years from now, maybe I'll pull this chassis back out or so and we'll take a look at it and see what it looks like. Even though I was successful in removing the rust here from the bracket itself that holds the tuning condenser to the chassis, you can see here some pitting, so I'll probably hit it with some primer with filler, give it a quick sand, and then apply some silver paint or something to it just to make it more aesthetically pleasing. After completing the rust removal on the chassis itself, you can see various locations here where the plating itself is gone, which is typical because again I used an acidic product to actually remove the rust from the chassis. In this case, I'm not going to paint the chassis. I'm actually going to use the metal prep product that I mentioned earlier, and maybe we'll take a look at this thing down the road and just see if it holds up and if that rust actually reappears. In addition to spending time here derusting the chassis, the old pilot light holders themselves had rust on them, so I spent time cleaning it up. You'll also notice the control stems look a little bit better here. And I think there's a little bit of a close-up here that's coming up, but they had a lot of rust and crud on those, and I actually applied the acidic product on those particular shafts as well and gave them a nice cleaning here as depicted here in the pictures now that I'm sharing, or the video that I'm sharing. I tell you, not painting the chassis too is a plus here. You can see the tube layout. That documentation's in fairly good shape. and you've got your original name tag there on the radio. So none of that's loosened up, or I didn't have to worry about actually reproducing that. I think keeping that authentic on these radios as much as possible, in my mind, is just brings extreme value to the restoration itself. Here's just a little bit better look at the side of the radio, and again, you will notice a little bit of pitting here where I did the rust removal with the acidic product. Again, the electrolytic can capacitor that I will restuff as well. One thing that's really odd to me, take a look at the cans here that I did apply some polish to and try to clean them up. All the top of the cans have indentions on them. It's kind of odd in my mind. It's like somebody removed the chassis of this radio, set it out in a hailstorm or something. So go figure. I'm not sure what happened there. There's a good close-up here, in the video. So anybody has any ideas, let me know. Really, really odd. So what's up next? Again, I'll spend some time applying that metal prep product that I talked about earlier to the chassis itself, and hopefully that'll keep that flash rust from coming back and reappearing over time. And I may actually try some itself on some of the cans, or the top of those cans that had some pitting as well. So we'll see what happens. Again, that power transformer, I'll tackle it when the weather conditions improve and it gets a little bit warmer and I can actually spray paint. We'll get some primer on it, clean that up, get that reattached to the chassis itself as well. Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate my new subscribers as well.